Okay, just a quick video. Bitcoin is about 3 hours into the Wednesday session. Might make another video tomorrow if something happens. If I want to share a few more indicators, something gets triggered or something, back. But right now, quick video to tell you I'm watching. Do we get a lower high with Bitcoin or a higher high? We still could see this divergence. That's still very, very possible that we get a divergence with Bitcoin. Again, down here at 74,000, I predicted we would rally back up above the 200 period moving average, get a massive rally. We got it. As we moved above the 200, I started talking about the 101 to 105,000 area. We may fall short of 100,000, but I told you I thought we'd reach it, and I talked about 101 to 105,000. We're there now. So again, if we're consolidating, again, and I'll show you the Elliott wave count real fast, we could still get one more push higher. I'm watching. Do we get a lower high and then a lower low and start taking out the 10 and the 20 period moving average? Or do we form a divergence? I still think that's very possible. I told you last week that I thought Bitcoin could peak this week, and I told you it could peak by Tuesday, and that's a session we just ended. So again, it's possible we have a peak on Monday, but I also told you I could be wrong about that, and we could still get that final push higher. Again, looking at support and resistance levels, I'm looking at mathematically based indicators, and here's one of them, the RSI. We could still end up forming a divergence. The MACD has not yet rolled over yet, and if the histogram ticks back up and forms a divergence in the most recent price action, we have a larger one here. We have one here, and then we have one here with this peak right here. So we've had a divergence and another divergence there, and it may be we tick back up and better define that, and we get one more push higher. And again, it's still even possible that we go above the 109,000 area. Again, I tell you what I think. I don't think that's going to happen, but it could be that we overthrow 109 and then come back, and I think we get the retracement back towards the 50 period moving average. And again, maybe this horizontal breakout point, which was support, it broke, it became resistance, and that is now major support. And our 50 period is just above it, our 100 period. When we had the breakout from the bottom at the last time around at 49,000, we rallied up, we came back after a rally, and we came back getting above the 100 period. We came back to the 100, the pink line right there. Bitcoin follows the 100 period moving average. Our cloud is here, it's green into the future, so you got some support in here. So we'll be watching. Do we get that pullback over the next few weeks? I think we will, but I still think it's possible we get another push higher. So that means we could see a peak in the session we're currently in, or tomorrow, Wednesday or Thursday sessions, which right now we're in the Wednesday session, or even sometime later this week. It's very, very possible Bitcoin peaks this week and we start to get a pullback if the 5-wave push is done. This divergence on the stochastic, it could even turn back up and get one in the more recent price action, like I talked about here with the histogram, like I talked about here with the RSI. So right now we're down 0.44% as we're 3 hours into the Wednesday session. Next week we have the Fed. Tomorrow, Thursday we have Powell speaking. Actually, I think this 50 will get back above the 200 as we pull back towards the moving averages. And again, I'm looking for a higher low. When I saw price reach the 74,000 area, I talked about this back over here on the 7th and the 9th. I told you, again, this is 74,000. It's major support. Likely going to bounce here. Likely have a bottom. I told you we could dip down to 71,000, 2,000, and get back above it, or you could just bounce right here at 74,000. And 74,000 held. It's major support. This is extremely bullish. Again, we'll be watching. Do we get this final push higher, or does our peak from a couple of days ago, from the Monday session, does that hold? Remember, we got the de-escalation day. The stock market rallied big time. Bitcoin did not. You know, I saw somebody posted on social media, the stock market's just higher. It's ripping higher. Bitcoin's going to follow. No. Bitcoin's up 42%. The stock market's playing catch up to Bitcoin. S&P's up about 22%. NASDAQ's up about 28%. Bitcoin, they're playing catch up to Bitcoin, which I told you was going to happen. I was able to predict the rally for the stock market because I was watching what was going on with Bitcoin. Bitcoin's the leader of the pack, man. I'll be watching to see if this divergence develops. I think there's a good shot that it does. Holding above the 10-period moving average. So we'll see if we can get that one more push higher. And as we're about 3 hours into the session, just over 3 hours into the session, we have this rebound back up off of the 50 period here in the 4-hour time frame. Again, I talked about back at the bottom that I believed that intermediate wave 4 was done. I believe that we're in intermediate wave 5, and this is the first wave, the first minor wave of intermediate wave 5. It's unfolding in a 5-leg push higher. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I believe this is 5 right here. 1, 2, and there's 2 waves I'm counting this. Again, one is that we've already peaked, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, and we're done. And now we get this lower high, and we're about to get this big sell-off. Okay, lower high, lower low, and this is the wave 3. You get a 1 and a 2 down. That assumes that we have already peaked, and it was the final push higher. Another way, and again, that this divergence that I told you to be watching for that formed marked the peak. Another way to count it is 1, 2. This whole thing with the black count, not the red count, but the black one is 3, 4, and then now we're about to get 5, and we're going to get push on higher, and maybe go up to this trend line or overthrow it or something, but we're going up here. I think that, again, this is still possible that we still come up here and get this divergence here on the RSI. You can see the same thing happen with the MACD. We do have the divergence going on down here with parameters. So the time is short. Either the peak is in or we're going to get one more push higher and then get it. And then I think you're going to see a big sell-off with wave 2 forming. So did wave 1 complete here, question mark, with the red count? Or do we get one more push higher here for minor wave 1 to complete? But again, I think it's coming to a conclusion. My guess is we're not going to make a new high above the January high, that we'll get a lower high. And look at NASDAQ and S&P. They're playing catch up. They're coming back up. Now, throwing their 78.6 Fibonacci's just like Bitcoin did. Wouldn't it be something if we pull back with lower highs, with all of them, got the higher lows, and then had a massive blast off the higher low that goes, and we see the stock market with the S&P and the NASDAQ and Bitcoin all move to new highs. So I'll be watching. Again, it is possible we peaked here. I did get some topping signals. I told you we could still see other topping signals form up here. But again, holding above the 10 period in the daily, we're still above the 50 in the cloud right here. You start losing these levels, then that's going to be bearish. You come back and you take out this trend line right here, that's going to be bearish. But listen to me very carefully. I think Bitcoin is going to peak this week. It might have peaked Monday. It might peak in a few days here, on Wednesday or Thursday. Sell off by the end of the week. Okay, whether that's at the peak here on Monday or whether we go and make a final high, I think the time is short. I believe this will be a pullback. I remain super bullish on Bitcoin. Could see a better defined divergence still develop here. Very similar to what we had here. We had a divergence here form, and then we came here and we got another push higher, and we got this divergence before a bigger sell-off. So I think you could see something like that still in play. No guarantee that happens. Again, signals called the very day of the bottom. My signals predicted this rally was going to happen. Looking for clues right now, and some of my signals are warning, hey, I should be looking for a top. So I'm sharing these videos with you. I'm looking for a top. Maybe it's in. Maybe we buy a little bit more time. But again, social media, people are saying now we're just going to here, now we're going to go. Over here, they were very, very bearish, and now they're turning back to bullish. Probably see another rug pull here for the short term. The herd, they get very bearish at bottoms and very bullish at tops. And again, if we do put in a short-term top, probably gonna get their hopes dashed again. So come out and say, oh, Bitcoin's now, it's gonna crash. The people that told us this rally wasn't gonna happen, a 42% signals called correctly. My signals called the double bottom here, the very day of the bottom, both of the bottoms on the 7th and the 9th, because I have good indicators. This massive double bottom, which we talked about back down here. Remember back over here at 74,000 when we've now rallied up to 105,000? The rally that we were told that we were never going to have? No, that rally? Be watching. Did we peak on Monday? Possible. If we pull back, keep in mind, again, the MACD is firming up at the center line. You're getting a bullish cross right now on the MACD. of the 50 level on the RSI, you're likely going to form a massive negative divergence right here on the MACD going forward over the next few months. I think Bitcoin's going to rally into summer or the fall, and I think it'll peak sometime in July, August, September, and I'm leaning towards August and September. Maybe it goes a little bit longer, could be. You know, we'll check it out and we'll reevaluate things when we get into the summer here and on into the fall maybe. Rally can extend for that long. We're going to get this massive push up, and I think we're going to go to the 150 to 175,000 area, but then I think we're going to top. Loads of money to be made right now on the bullish side. But when we get up there, again, Bitcoin is going to have a wrecking ball taken to it. Professional money's going to sell. The BlackRocks are going to sell. The institutions are going to sell. The herd is going to be left, and the moon boys, the herd and the moon boys, they're going to be left holding the bag as they always are. Again, I want to show you the IBIT ETF, and I own the IBIT ETF, and again, I'm planning on selling it into the rally here. Remember, I have a long-term position that I'm going to hold for multiple months on Bitcoin because, again, I believe Bitcoin is going to get a massive rally out that 74,000 area. Also a trader, and I'm doing a shorter-term trade here, and I'm trying to play the wave one move, reload on my long position on the pullback for wave two. Longer term core position, I'm just going to hold. I have Bitcoin, I have Bitcoin futures, and I have the Bitcoin ETF. Longer term core position, some accounts, I have my short term trading position. I use various instruments to trade Bitcoin, including the real McCoy. I do own IBIT, and again, IBIT's moving to new highs. Okay? Bitcoin has price fluctuations when it's closed, when IBIT is not trading, when the market is closed. Bitcoin ETF IBIT, again, is moving to new highs. I think you've got this 5-leg push here. Again, it's the same count. We have, I think, the 1, the 2. I think this is 3. Okay? I think this is 4. And I think this is 5 right now. And I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And I think you're wrapping up 5. That means it's possible, the count is correct, and Elliott wave is speculation, that we see a peak tomorrow or Wednesday or maybe Thursday. It's very, very possible. I think that Bitcoin could peak this week and reverse a reversal this week. I think that's very, very possible. Again, while I predicted the rally, I think that the rally is going to come to a conclusion. I told you at the very bottom, Bitcoin is going to have a massive rally. It's correct. I think it's coming to a conclusion. Then I think we pull back. And again, we can pull back and fill some of these gaps. We can pull back, go to the 200, where here's our double bottom confirmation line right here at the 50 area. The 50 area on IBIT, you have your double bottom like you have on Bitcoin. So again, the idea for me for swing trading is to try to play the swing moves for these shorter term price fluctuations. And again, for position, I'm going to hold that multiple months and ignore the short term price fluctuations. So again, doing two different things. Just want to make sure you're aware of that. Close out my swing trade position tomorrow or Thursday if I think that we're going to peak here, and I think that's possible. Maybe we overthrow my trend line right here. Sometimes using wedges get an overthrow move. But I think that, again, we are getting this final climax move of this rally. I think we'll complete a divergence here. I think Bitcoin will end up getting a divergence. We may go much higher, overthrow this level a little bit. So don't think we have to stop at the trend line. We still may go above it, but I'll be looking for clues, and I think that we're going to get a divergence, and I think that it could be that Bitcoin peaks out tomorrow if we've completed a little divergence here on the 60-minute chart with the MACD and the RSI. We've already have a divergence forming. We're getting lower highs on the indicator. I just think we're probably going to go a little bit higher, but then can we turn? Does Powell on Thursday create a sell-off? Maybe. We'll see. We got the Fed next week as well. We'll see what happens. I told you, got above the 200 here. Again, Bitcoin's 4-hour chart. So again, we'll be watching to see if we start trying to pull back to the 200 periods, back to the horizontal support. Maybe we don't go that far. Maybe we just go to this horizontal support right here. Maybe we get something deeper than what I'm thinking. We don't know the future. We don't know how deep. We can look at the support levels where we might go to. Don't know which one of those support levels will be broken, which one will hold. Watching this carefully, but I think you got a good shot. Bitcoin peaks this week. I told you maybe it was by Tuesday, that last week. I told you I could be wrong, and we could still go a little bit longer. Try to go challenge 109,000 to peak on Bitcoin. So again, I think that you got a good shot. The Wednesday session, the Thursday session, you could see a peak here on Bitcoin, certainly possible if a divergence completes. tomorrow's session or by Thursday. It looks like it could do it tomorrow, and that's why I'm making this emergency video right now to let you know. Coin might peak Wednesday or Thursday. And I did get some warning signs on my signals, but that could just be for a short-term pullback. We did get a pullback. I got a little topping signal here. We got a little reversal bar. The reversal bar was confirmed. It was confirmed, but there's been no follow-through. Okay, the little black bar you see right there, that's the reversal bar, and it could have just been we get a little short-term pullback. Here we got a little warning sign right here, a little reversal bar topping signal right here, and we still went higher a little bit. It ended up getting a rally that fizzled out. We rallied up 8% and it gave it all back to it anyways. See something like that here where we still try to go higher. If my signals start turning bearish, taking out the 10 period in the 10 period moving average on the daily chart, not seen on this chart, the 50 period on the hour chart there, then again, maybe we start the pullback, their peak on Monday. Remember, IBIT did move to a new high today. It doesn't trade around the clock like Bitcoin, so it did end up moving to a new high. We'll see if Bitcoin does as well. But again, we'll be watching. Signals nailed the bottoming signals, reversal. Black bar there, they're marking the reversal back at the top. Signals are amazing. We've had right after that reversal, we had the bars turn blue. They've been blue up until this warning sign right here. And what happened? Oh, we had volatility. It was correct. We didn't get a reversal, but we had volatility. And again, that's what we could have right here rather than a complete reversal, which is what we had back over here, which is what we had down over here. Are you picking up what I'm throwing down? Now, again, I have the moving averages on here because I want to show you something. Again, we're going to soon get the 50 getting back above the 200. The black line is the 200. The 50 is the green line. The 100 is right here, the pink line. Eventually, you're going to move back to the 100 period for a test. I think you're going to do it. And not do it this time. My guess is we will. You're getting the 50 getting back above the 100. Eventually the 50 will get back above the 200. You'll pull back to these moving averages, and then we're going to get ready to rock and roll, because once we get a higher low, if we get the pullback now or pop and get the pullback, again, once it's done, Bitcoin is going to surge, and the next surge is going to be an extended wave 3, and it's going to make this look like it was nothing. That's a 42% advance for when my signal's correctly called the bottom. Yeah, well, I expect a pullback with Bitcoin. We did get the rally I predicted. We got the bottom I predicted taking place at the time, correctly calling that bottom. I think we'll just get a pullback. And I think that Bitcoin is likely to top this week and begin to pull back probably before the weekends. I could be completely wrong, but you know what? I have the guts to tell you exactly what I think. You know, good thing, because I had the guts to tell you that Bitcoin was bottoming down here when everybody was panic selling. And, you know, Kramer and the herd were all running around telling us that Bitcoin and the stock market were about to have a Black Monday crash. I told you we were bottoming. Again, I have the guts to tell you what I think. Very few people have the guts to tell you what they think. I think we're going to peak out here. Now, again, this could be just a short-term top right here, and but it could still be warning, hey, we're getting close to a top. That's what the signal's saying. So, watching. Couple of other signals. Still bullish here. Going to be watching for a Fibonacci retracement. Again, if we have that as a peak, the Monday peak, the 50% retracement is right here. Again, that's what we did the last time around. When we finally got the 50 turning back up, which is what we have right now, we had the higher low. We had already gotten a bigger pullback. We got rejection here at the 200. Here we got above it. Still got rejection, but we pulled back to the 50. Here we broke the 50. Established that higher low in September of 2024. Here we got above the 200 and we pulled back to the 50. If I bring up the 100 period moving average for you, you can see that here we got rejection at the 100, rejection just above the 200 period moving average. Here we got above the 200 and we pulled back to the 50 and the 100, just beyond the 100 period moving average, just beyond the 50. We found support. The Fibonacci retracement of this advance, we came down to just beyond the 50% retracement. So do we see something like that again, where we pull back to the 50 and the 100 period? After we got the higher low, scenario is rallied, now 42% off the bottom. Do we pull back to that, the bottom signal? Here we had the bottom signal. We did get the deeper retracement. Again, I'm a big believer in the 100 period moving average. I think that when we bounced out these levels, we got above them, back above that 200 period. We bounced off of them, got back above those moving averages in the 200 period, and we eventually got the 50 back above the 200, eventually the 100 back above the 200. I think it's a strong possibility, and I think it's reasonable to think that maybe we come back to the 50 and the 100 period and the 200 and this area of support, and that's where our horizontal support is. I'm totally wrong on that. Maybe it's less of a retracement. Maybe it's more. Maybe it's a 61 or 78.6 Fibonacci retracement. But just considering, I'll be watching. Do we push higher? We're up nearly 42% from when my signal's correctly called the bottom. That's a pretty big move. Now again, I had some warning signs with that peak right there, but not everything. With the Monday high. And with this volatility down here, got a couple warning signs. With the peak over here, got a couple warning signs. Down here at the bottom, got a couple warning signs. Maybe we get another warning sign. Maybe we do go and get one more push higher and get another warning sign. And again, maybe I'm wrong and we don't go above. We do go above 109,000. I don't think we will, but again, I think you're going to set up a lower high and then come back down. And again, it looks like the stock market's setting up that same scenario. And nailed the bottom. Signals, momentum turned back to bullish, and then we saw trend signals begin to turn back to bullish with our bull flag pattern. Watching to see if we top out and get a pullback. I think that you got a good shot that's going to happen this week. I'll be watching. If we do go make new highs, do I get another sell signal right here, another signal warning of volatility? Absolutely incredible signals. My signals call both the bottom on the 7th and on the 9th before the rally ever happened. Those signals showed up before the rally started. Absolutely amazing. Showed up as we were declining. We were still falling before either one of the rallies on those days took place. Again, as I'm making the video, Bitcoin's down just over 0.5% here. Again, no signal here. We don't have to get a signal, and you don't always get signals. Sometimes it shows up when there's price exhaustion. Amazing signals at the tops, December and January tops. Amazing signal at the bottom here, the very day of the bottom for the volatility over here. Do we see another one? I told you we were going to go up above the upper Bollinger Band here. We did it. No signal so far. We may not get it, but look at the signals. The trend signals turn bullish, and look at that. What a beautiful thing. Get a bigger pullback. I'll be watching to see if my trend signals begin to turn bearish. If they do, I think it will be only for the short term. No signal here either, so it's still possible. I don't want to rule out that we don't go to new highs. I still think that that's very, very possible. So don't get me wrong. Top, but I still think we can get one more pop higher. Possible Monday's top was it, but I still think you got a pretty good shot. We might do that. Still bullish, bearish here, turn back to bullish here. No topping signal here yet. Don't have to get one. Didn't get a bottoming signal over here, but this one we got a bottoming signal at this bottom here for a double bottom. They don't always show up. No signal here. Again, it may not show up. You still have green bars. You still have the green cloud. We got warning signs right here. We got a warning at the top. Here it was premature, and we went higher, and then we got the turn. It was confirmed. You got some good bottoming signals there. This for the counter trend. This for the counter trend. Over here, end of this counter trend. Didn't get one down here, but we got one at the bottom. So again, I think a divergence is developing. We'll be watching closely. Sometimes at turning points, momentum is about to shift. A circle shows up, and we don't have one yet. Doesn't have to show up, but it could. Saying there's still the possibility of new highs. Again, I'm getting warning signs that a top is either developing, has already developed with Monday's high. But again, got some warning signs here. Got a sell signal. Got the circle saying, hey, be on the lookout for a top right here. This may move if we go to new highs, but right now it's saying that we've got a short-term top in right here. Got some topping signals right here with the Monday bar, and then right now this could go away if we rally before the day ends. We're just early into the session, but look at the diversions. Again, we'll make it a pop over here. What happened back over here in January, we'll see if that happens again. But you've got warning signs. We had warning signs of it, and these just are warning of a short term. Now, sometimes you get them, and you go higher. You turn. The times you turn immediately. Again, we got the bottoming signals down here. Then we saw momentum signals turn. And then we got the trend signals turning. And again, now we'll be watching to see what happens here. But again, I am looking for a top. And again, it was a bullish divergence that marked the bottom here, over here, and then over here. these divergences. So again, we'll be watching to see if we get a pullback with the divergences that are now setting up. If we do top and turn, I'll be watching my momentum line. Does the momentum line turn back to bearish? Right now it's still bullish. We still have green bars. So again, we could still try to go higher. Even though we pull back a little bit and rebounded back up, you didn't flip the momentum yet here. So again, the momentum line will have to confirm if we start to turn down. So we'll be watching some things I'm looking at, but I do have warning signs that either we've topped or we're about to. We'll be watching. Do we set up a lower high and start selling off, or do we get one more pop and then get the drop?